Hey, what's up? Good morning. We're about to start the Next Level UX Design Energy Workshop. And to get started, I'm just going to start warming up inside of Figma and then wait for the crew to roll in. And then we'll be started and focused around how do we build and craft better design energy throughout the week, thinking about systems, thinking about tools, thinking about people, and thinking about how our schedules, rituals, and some very focused intention can help us win every single day, every single week, and every single month, just having a better system in place to be able to work through the most important things in our life. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this show. All right, here we go. So I'm just inside of Figma right now, and I'm just going to be getting some warmed up. I'm going to be heading over into the live workshop right now. So let me go grab my link and launch this session. So I hope you're having a fantastic morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. So what I want to do first is we have a full 5 minutes scheduled for today's session. And I want to make sure that you have one of your favorite beverages in hand or your favorite green drink in hand. And this whole session is all about understanding all the most important intentions in your life, all the most important projects, your ambitions, your needle movers, just everything that's going on, and making sure that you're just regulating how you design your energy every day, every week, every month. And coming into this topic can feel so overwhelming. It can feel overwhelming because there's just a lot of things that we have to manage in our life. There's a lot of things that we have to work through. But once you can understand how to take it in and then create really incredible output and incredible awareness of what you are trying to do with your energy, it starts to not feel like work. It starts to feel more like intention and more like action. So that's what today is all about. It's a really important skill as any creator, as you're coming in every week with a lot of projects. Maybe you have a certain rhythm or certain schedule that you execute on every single week, but maybe sometimes you just feel like you're in motion, but not really designing all that motion. So I know we can all relate to that sometimes. So today is really a practice to really focus and improve on that. And it starts with just starting with the foundations. And then we're going to get into the strategic things that you can start doing and aligning those things. The work is actually fun when you're designing every single week. Now, you might have a new startup that you're running. You might have a business that you already are managing or auditing, so that you can understand the problems and the opportunities at play inside the business to create more revenue, to create more value for your customers, whatever those things are, in order to help other companies grow. And you have to be able to first help yourself grow. You have to be able to help your first step of the day and your first step of the week be a lot more impactful for you first. And then you'll be able to be a better creator for everybody else. All right, so let's just dive right back over into Figma, where we can do some visual mapping and understanding how these things can fit together. So 4 weeks ago, we set out on a path to understand our big six. Our big six is first dialing in our purpose, our priorities, our opportunities, our identity, our success. Like, what does that even look like? How would you define it? And we take these and we start just defining what they are, writing them down, getting organized, right? Very simple practice, but people don't do it because it just takes time to write it down and put yourself out there. But I use Figma for a lot of these things too, to help me organize. I also use the platform that you're in right now, nextlevelux.me, just to organize that intention, because I've added different integrations with AI to be able to just help analyze what you do on a daily basis, weekly, if you want it. And if you want to observe and have a different point of view for how you can attack these different tasks and things that you're trying to create. So then once you identify these priorities, these things, then you can start thinking about, okay, well, what do we do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to move these things forward? What are we doing in the morning? What are we doing evening? What plans do we have? So if we focused 4 weeks ago on clarity and building out this big six, then we focused on goals. Project, career, passion, personal goals, things that we want to do with our life, make it better, right? We're not just showing up at work and doing what the work wants us to do. We're thinking about our whole self, our legacy, the things that we're building, the family that we're building, the communities that we're building. We're thinking about all those things. And we have time to think about all those things, right? We have 4 hours in a day, depending on how you track your days. It might feel like you have 3 days in one. But organizing the foundations is a huge step in the right direction. Then we start looking at like our years, right? It's 2026 right now. In 10 years, it'll be 2036. What's something that you expected or you anticipate or you want to achieve by that time frame? And think about the type of person you want to be every week as you show up to that person 10 years from now. It's a super fun thing to think about. Then we have to dial in these schedules, these systems, these rituals, these routines, because guess what? We got to work with other people, other systems, and other tools to be able to keep moving these things forward. You'll learn new tools this year. You'll meet new people this year. You'll have to build and iterate and recalibrate your systems this year because it's just not like a one fit all when it comes to systems, tools, people. You have to keep evolving. So we'll have our goals. We'll write them down. We'll think about how we want to show up every day and our energy and what that flow could look like. We'll have very clear pathway to be able to do it. And we'll have practices, which is what we focused on last week. This was the 4th week. Now we're in the 5th week of what will we practice and improve our excellence in. What will that look like? How we integrate it in? And we had other metaphors like in baseball, how getting really good at a solid rep and how you can just create more of those reps inside of the discipline that you work in. So if you're a product manager, a designer, a engineer, a marketer, QA, whatever the role is, you want to be able to have the absolute best practices for your discipline so that you can level up in your excellence in that field. So how do really good creators do it? They have really good design energy. They're not aimed at the wrong things. They're aiming more at the right things, but they're also setting themselves up for success to be able to do that more often and consistently over time. Not like just in May and June when the weather is great, but they do it year round consistently, and they build great friendships, great relationships, great family experiences, great team experiences, and they love their life because of what they're doing. And we also looked at the evolution of a skill, right? And how you go from not knowing much to leveling up. We broke down so many things about building a practice layer. But now I want to jump way further ahead. And today we're going to be focused on, let's head over to it. Today we will be focused on what I call design energy. What is design energy? Like, why is this even important? Think about the flow of your week, the flow of what you do, and how you just create in general. We need to be able to be so positioned so well that when we do show up to create, when we do show up to make things, that we have a clear head, we have a calm and steady hand, that we understand the room and the environment that we're creating in, and that we understand what it's going to take to win, what it's going to take to win in an ethical, creative, and sustainable way. We want to build better operating systems for ourselves, for our own energy. So to do that, we got to think about our core flow. So I made a little prototype to show you this because I know you can go in and do these things inside of, you can do a lot of these things inside of Next Level UX. All right, so what you're viewing right here is a little page that I built it in Bolt, and I was working through just thinking about, all right, as a creator, what are the things that we need to keep moving forward and keep dialing in as we work through? Now, if we already built all this core foundation of all the powerful resources of having clarity, goals, action plans, and practices, now we need to layer in our design maturity. So your design maturity might be, say, at a level 3 right now, and you want to get it to a level 6 or 7, and then you want to get to like a level 10 and maintain it. This level of design maturity is going to allow you to have better design thinking, better systems thinking, better product thinking, better life management thinking, so that you're not just thinking about one thing, you're learning the systems across the board. So as we learn the systems across the board, we want to be able to first come through and dial in, because I understand my systems. I'm going to come right back and dial into the 6 core pillars of what I think are going to help amplify your design energy. And remember that the whole framework of Next Level UX is built around, let's say if you go into the dashboard of the app and then you come up over into profile, let me just moving myself. In this app, if you go up to profile, you'll see this grid system of creator flow. After the 20 plus years of working and studying systems, these core three pillars still anchor in the different touch points that we have every single day. So people, tools, systems. So if we can understand these people, tools, and systems at a very mature level, then we can start building in some of these other design thinking like life thinking, design thinking, product thinking, and systems thinking. So I'm going to come back over into this little prototype that I made and swim down. So the first ones that I think are quite impressive, here, I'll come over here, is, and this is inside of Bolt right now. So basically Bolt is like a prototyping tool, really powerful to building pretty much any web experience that you want. I've used it for training. I've used it for helping my son with his study projects, for learning about the Cold War, or learning about history, or learning about game theory, learning about design thinking. I can use it for anything, for like quick daily apps or quick training. So I would absolutely encourage you, if you're trying to get better at prototyping, like you could try Bolt. It's a really powerful tool. So if we have people, and I fed it all my systems and tools, and then it basically helped me create this. So people, tools, and systems, very powerful. The relationships of community that hold the energy and amplify your vision. Tools, the systems and software that extend your creative capacity without draining it. Systems, repeatable structures that remove friction and protect your creative flow. Like this core foundational things, like you know what they are, but just sit with them for a second. Like, how are you measuring up on these elements right now? How well are you doing with your people relationships and your skills? The people around you. First, you got your family, then you got your friends, then you got maybe your coaches and your mentors and your trainers. Then you have your customers, the people that you're serving, your community, the people that they're serving. And you can start to see the tools, the industries, and the things that you support and the things that you create, how they affect those areas of the industry, so the world. So you have those things dialed in. But how do you amplify your design energy? You have to know what are the key rituals of what successful people do. What are the key rituals of what successful people do in your industry? And then the key successful things of what people do in your industry that help amplify and demonstrate excellence. And if you can figure those things out and study them and kind of like deconstruct how they work and how they operate, then you're going to be in a lot better position to be able to support, create better rituals, which a ritual is a daily practice that signals to your mind and body that it's time to create. It's time to do this thing. We have those on Mondays and Fridays. This is sorting through. So thinking about, well, I'll come back to that in a second because I know the page is jumping around because of it, but that's fine. The ritual schedules and intentions. The rituals help you have an anchor in the week, maybe multiple times in the week, of when you are going to turn on and do something. For example, morning might be your activation where you're going to align getting your body activated, your mind ready before you start doing your sit down creative work with your favorite drink, your favorite cup of coffee, your notes to go create. You have to be dialed in before you sit down to do those things. A ritual is going to help you do that. It might be a morning ritual, it might be an evening ritual. It might be something that you do right after a breakfast or right before you get the kids ready for school or right before or after you get the kids ready for school and you come back and then you go do the thing. Those rituals are going to save you. So today, right now, maybe write down these 6 core items and write down underneath who are the top 5 people, the top 5 tools, the top 5 systems, the top 5 rituals, the top 5 schedules, the top 5 intention items that are going to support you. You've already done intention items if you completed week 1 of the Next Level UX training system. Week 1 is going to have you answer the big 6 inside the homework assignment. That way you can at least document And you can have them in your journal. You can have them, you can print them out, you can put them up on their board, you can write them out. But at least you do the work, you're going to be in a far better position to win. You do the work to understand your schedules, you're going to be in a far better place to win. And then that's the simplest form of in creating a better design energy flow. But let's go down even further, because even if you just took a screenshot or you just wrote down these 6 core things, you're already so much better off than most. You're already in a way better position to succeed. But let's go way deeper, because you're a high performer and you can do that. The other major discipline of getting design energy is being able to have an actual recovery moment, a reflection opportunity, and then also time to revitalize. Now, in my experience and in my history, I've always found it very important to have these moments where you can have recovery, where that could be like a hike in the woods, that could be a trip to the hot springs, that could be a camping trip into the woods. It could be just like having a peaceful moment where you're journaling or writing, but you're finding peace to be in the garden, you're finding peace to go on a walk, you're finding peace. You're having a moment to recover. Could even be just watching like a movie or something, like you're just having a recovery moment. The reflection moment's important because you need to be able to have reflections after key moments in your life. Key moments in your life are around the areas that after something magical happens to you, you remember that after this certain types of things happen, I'm going to write about it. Maybe after you have a dream, you're going to write about it. Maybe after you have a workout, you might write about how you felt or what you did. Reflection moments are vital. We have them in product land as well. They're called retrospectives, where you can, after a big event happens, you take some notes and you get feedback about to yourself, to your peers, and maybe to the company or the project that you're doing. I thought it was important every week during my time at Growth Day to give feedback to my peers and to the executives and to the company every single week, because I'm there, I'm present, I'm working. I need to be able to give feedback to make things better. Reflection is very vital. If you have those moments, it also allows you to be like, man, on Fridays, I'm burnt out, I'm tired, I don't feel energized. That's an important time where you got to recalibrate your energy and get back on track with better recovery, better reflections, and of course, better times to revitalize. Revitalizing, when I go into the woods and I feel that energy of just peace, quiet, that's the moment where it lifts me up and I want to go get back into the studio and go create more. But if I'm always in the studio creating and I'm not able to go out, see, experience the world, and participate and collaborate with the community, it makes it difficult to be able to have these moments where you can just jump back in and reset and go get after the next project or get after the next thing. So very important things: recovery, reflection, and revitalizes. So built that as a first start. So remember that, yes, clarity is going to create the energy. The design energy is your ability to be aware of this matrix of information so that you know what to do with it. And you want to go obviously from chaos to clarity. So instead of reactive days, you have more design days. Instead of decision fatigue, you have effortless systems. You're going in and you know what the practice is and you know what the reps are, so you can go and do the best work because you're an excellent performer. You know what to do. You just got to be dialed in a little bit more. You'll have less burnout cycles because you have a sustained rhythm. Now, at Growth Day, we had these incredible rhythms for content at lynda.com. It was the same thing. You have weekly content being shipped. Everybody must play their part. It is a symphony of creative energy. The founders of lynda.com, the founders even of LinkedIn, you have impeccable systems, incredible design layered design operations at play. So much operations happening to be able to execute incredible content on a weekly basis. So you got to be able to have that rhythm in your own life so that you can create at your very best. Random output turns into intentional creation, right? We all want that. So the best designers don't just manage time, they architect their energy. So architecting your energy is just like if you were architecting a building or a house, right? You would architect the plans, you'd create a blueprint. How often or how much time have you spent creating your own blueprint of your life? And how often have you designed it and iterated on it so that you're creating the life that you always wanted or the creative energy that you've always desired? What does that look like? How does that feel like? So Right now, what I want to do is we're about halfway through the session. You could decide at this point, be like, okay, I got an idea of what this design energy thing is all about. Now, what we get to do is we get to actually document it and make sure that we're writing it out so that we can literally plan out our days, weeks, and months with very highly strategic direction. But to first do that, you have to diagnose the problem. To diagnose the problem, we got to head over into the platform and we got to go over here to the grid system. Now, if you're in the dark mode for next level UX, you can totally do that. If you're in the light mode, you can do that. We're going to stick to the dark mode right now because we're filming. But the first thing that you got to be able to do is diagnose where you're currently at. So if you haven't yet done this, take the assessment. You can retake it if you haven't taken it yet. Retake the assessment. Score where you're at right now across people, tools, systems, and just think about, okay, now that we know what our score is, where we're currently at, and you can go view your report as well on the dashboard. There's a view report button, and you can see your score right here. So I was scoring high yesterday. I was like on it. So we're going to be able to start kind of trying to improve your ambition, your dedication, your determination, and your intentionality so that you can literally start crafting a little bit better, right? So we want to work through these things. Right now we're on design energy. We're going to still be going at this every single week for the next 12 weeks to really dial in across the board what we're doing and how we're working through all these elements. If I come back to, and just taking the assessment, you just score, take a quick assessment. You can actually just do that anytime you want. But that's the first step. Then after we do that, we'll jump over into Figma because I want you to do the work in Figma as well. And we're going to think through, remember I was talking about days, weeks, months. And this is actually like a really fun exercise to do. And you start to like kind of build out your core blocks of, I'd say like, I was doing it up top, which is like morning. I feel like there's something on my nose. Morning, afternoon, evening. So we're thinking about bigger milestones. Instead of weeks, we're looking at milestones. And actions are going to be driving our weekly milestones. And then we'll have monthly milestones. And then we'll have yearly milestones. So we need visibility into what we do. I usually just draw boxes because it's just like a really nice way, simple way. So if we could start with very basic milestones in our grids, and remember we had above, we're building the system, right? So you're just documenting what are the things that I'm doing morning, evening, afternoon. What are the actions that I'm taking? If you don't know what the actions to take, good news, you can just literally go over to your plan, create a new plan, action playlist, new rituals, routines, habits, flow, whatever you want to call the playlist. And then you can literally just craft out, you got your clarity, you got your goals, you got your action plans, and you can come in and just write high level elements under each of those. So if this is like really simple, A, B, C, D, you can just do that. Just these are intention builders. We're just getting focused. And you can come over to the AI, and the AI is just going to give you some suggestions. Right now, it will pull in your scores and the other areas of things that you had generated and created and give you next steps. So dedicate time this week to finalize the action plan playlist task. Break it down into smaller, manageable tasks. So I could add it. Establish daily clarity sessions. Spend 10 minutes each morning reviewing the goals and intentions of the day. Got it. Quick win. Set a daily goal. Each morning, set one achievable goal that you can accomplish by the end of the day. Simple. Got it. Identify and leverage existing habits. What are the things that you identify an existing habit that you perform regularly? Use it as a trigger. Okay, got it. Design your ideal day. Spend an hour this weekend visualizing and writing down your ideal day would look like. Consider, and this is designing, right? We're designing what my perfect day is like: hike in the woods, doing some design work, getting a good contribution to society out in the end of the world, getting a workout in, getting a swim in the pool, and then probably getting a hike again in the forest. I just love it. And we've been building trails and I got poison ivy, but it was worth it because these trails have never been cut before. So it's really exciting. You need this very simple structure. You need a way to go get after it. And you can do that inside the tool and just get recommendations. They'll show up in your plan and then you're bada bing, bada boom, ready to get back after it. So we have our days, weeks, months plans. We got our goals, which are personal, career, passion, and projects. So all the projects, all the things we got going on, right? We're super clear. We're super crisp. We got clarity around our identity, what success looks like, how we want to interact with other people. We have our priorities in check. We have our purpose. We have our purpose, priorities, opportunities. So we got these things in check, right? You know them, but you're not organizing all of them. Or you might be, but you're here at the training, so maybe you don't do this very often. So this is a good time to have a checkpoint. You can do this every quarter, and then so you know what they are. Now that we have our clear structure, put it in a box. Now we get to come up with many different beautiful, and if let's just say these are 11 by 11, let's make them 10 by 10, and think about how many 10 by 10s are you going to have each week. So you can do 5, and then all of a sudden you can do 10, then you can do 15, then you can do 20, then you do 25, right? Now that you have 25 actions that you can do, say maybe in a day. And if you count, you will realize you might have probably checked your phone 25 times. But think about if you have 25 actions in a day, are they strategic? Are they aligned? Are they like purpose driven? Can you do that? Can you put that energy into something that is more valuable and more important? You probably could. It's a choice, it's a decision. So decide how you want to craft it, how you want to design it. No judgment, just high performance, intensity, high performance, intentionality. We're just trying to make better days. You have to be honest and do this work. So then think about the compound effect of growth. Right now, you do this, and it could be a full year of fragmented experiences, fragmented intentionality, or you could start to realize that, oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, this starts to compound week over week over week over week because you're building around the most important things in your life, the clarity. You're building around a focused, potentially amplified effects because the things that you love to do personally in your career and your passion and project, they could overlap. They very much will overlap. And when they overlap, you'll be ready for it. And then you'll be able to help advance your initiatives even further. Now, think about those blocks because, even if there's 25 of these for months, you got 12 of those a year. And if we kind of like zoom out from 2026, I like doing this too. This is always a really fun exercise. So I'll just do it in the same row. 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031. And I'm going to keep going. Just bear with me. Not as fast as I could be on this. 33, 2034, 2035, 2036. Okay, we'll go 10 years out. All right. Now you're 10 years out. Now think about your age here. Let's just say I am 41 and my son is 16, and I'll be actually at the end of this year I'll be 42. 41, I'll be 42. So I'll just do that. 42, and then I'm 43. So think about your age. Can't believe I'm already 40. I don't feel like it. 43, 44. It's worth the exercise, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, shoot, you can't see it on there. Oh, there you go. All right. So you got these. Think about your age, where you're at, and think about the incredible possibilities of what you could create and what you could do for your family, for yourself within this time frame. And not only that, think about what's most important to you and what you want to leave. So if my son's 16 right now and he's going to be, oh my gosh, 17, 18, and I do this for my wife, but she want me to put her age on there. I don't care. My oh my gosh, this is so crazy thinking about my son growing up. And like right now, my action plan is highly getting ready and having an open space so that I can create and build with my son this summer for his summer break. And I'm so excited because he's incredibly talented, and it's going to be super just epic to see what he is capable of creating and what he's going to do. So let's just say, and this is other things that I'm thinking about. So if he's and think about yourself. So if you're at a certain point and you have a certain goal, and we'll just create it like a outline. So you have one goal, two goal, and say you have three really important goals. Then you want to be able to see how those goals can compound over year, and you can work those into this incredible plans, incredible experiences. So if he's 16 now, by the time he graduates, so it'll be a freshman, sophomore, senior. So like 18, 19 when he graduates, and it'll be 2028. And just working backwards from that, so 12 times 3, 36 months. What can we accomplish in 36 months in the fitness industry, in the tech industry, in the design industry? What are the games and the stories and the presentations and the pitches and the products that we'll build in 3 years' time, like with all of this incredible technology here? What contributions will we have to society? How will we make everything better? Or what will we decide to do? It's so much fun to think about. So if you take the time to think about all the milestones and then these windows of time that you're going to be able to put in, it's so exciting to think about, and the potential is so incredible. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 12 months. And when you go through and you start building out, okay, in this timeline, in this one timeline over here, split months, years. So in this time frame, when you're working through your weeks, let me move this smaller. What's going to help you win more? Having a strategic week and being able to literally craft each of these years with just a little bit more better, like just better systems. Even just better systems would be astronomical in helping you develop yourself over these next 10 years. Now, some people don't want to play that long game, but I'm like my old CEO founder. One of the biggest things that I learned with growth days is a compound effect. Like the years of playing the long game and working through these things, it can really help you in your personal development journey. And we want to have these incredible, sensational design experiences. This is already looking really nice. Let's just see. Boom. And I'll make all these the same. Boom. Like this little chart. Cool. So now we're going to be playing and we're going to be creating. Let me bring this over to you. And now we have, you take a little screenshot of this even. Like this is the work. This is so vital to being able to build and craft like a next level design energy. So you got all this, right? This is going to help you create better. You understand what you're going to be doing. But gosh darn it, like sometimes you need even better rituals and routines, right? Or how are you going to do this? So that's where if it gets hard, then keep it simple. That means just getting dialed in on what month's this month time frame is going to look like. So I created these in the past. Let me go grab it. So I have this one graphic right here. So it's thinking about, oh shoot, we got a lot of things to do in our weeks, tons of things to do in our weeks. How are we going to fill these buckets? We're spinning multiple wheels on our fingers at the moment. Multiple pizza pies. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on here. How are you going to invest your time? Where are you going to spend it? Like, I think if you spend it first with clarity for like what I just showed you and all the things that you just walked through, it's relieving so much other pressure so that you make sure that when you get something that comes into your sphere, into your environment, you can decide, yep, or nope, not doing this, definitely doing this. Nope, not doing it. Yes, definitely doing it. Align with my purpose, intention, not in my circle, not aligned with my product intention. This is something great that you could even teach to your kids, because when they are deciding what to do with their time, like the 16, 17, 18-year-olds, or even like the young kids you're homeschooling, how do you decide to spend your days, your weeks, your months? How do you decide? Well, I think having clarity and having vision is important. I think when you have a team, you have kickoffs like every week, sometimes for different projects and things that are going on. You got to be able to connect to mission. You need to know where the morning rituals are going to take you, the daily reflections, what responsibilities you might have, what's your, like destiny. Do you think about that? I like to think about destiny. I feel like it was my destiny to meet my wife. I feel like it was my destiny to travel and to work where I've worked. I feel like it was my destiny to play baseball. and feel that because it's true to my heart. Find truth to your heart through journaling, through reflection, through and building more intentionality. Then my priorities, my leadership, what kind of emotions am I going to bring to the table? What am I going to coach? Where am I going to train? How am I going to practice? Where's this at? How am I going to practice? How am I going to build income? And then, thinking about all these things, right? It can be kind of a messy road, but we got to be able to understand to do that. And to build monthly momentum is another way to look at it. Well, if you need a really simple practice, you can even just do this little worksheet. You just print this out and be like, put it on sheet, put it out in front of you. And like you can just draw it. You got a piece of paper, grab a marker and write monthly momentum. You write monthly momentum, and then we're just building a simple, like the thing that I showed you, and you can do it on a piece of paper. You don't even need. So you have 3 boxes. One, this month, this week, we're going to plan, we're going to advance, we're going to teach, and then we're going to review. Now, this one I used a lot when I was managing a lot of designs at the same time, a lot of different projects and a lot of different things going on. Boom, boom. You have your boxes and you can fill this out with a little pen. But I think that's why Figma's so great, because you don't have to go analog. You can just like literally, you don't have to go analog. You can just write them out inside of Figma and you have a lot more space, and you can just duplicate these and bring it down and you just scroll up. And the cool thing actually about Figma right now, if I even just took a screenshot, Command Shift Option C, and then I come over into and I paste this. So I have this, and then I could say to Figma, fill this in with a high performance design plan for my next level UX training program. Fill in with black marker into the template. Let's see what it does. So add the image. It's going to create something. And just so you know, we are recording a session. I'll put it up in the replays so you can always come back and reference this. We already have 5 episodes already in the platform, so you can go watch and go learn from the last systems as we keep working through the library. Pretty awesome stuff. The different ways to use these things, you could also just take the graphic that I just sent you, do Control Option C, and just drop it over into ChatGPT or Claude Code or Codex or any of your AIs that are learning about you, that you've been putting time and projects space into, and then you can go do this. But let's just see what it did. This is incredible. So, based on my prompts, which my prompt was, if I come back to my prompts, I said, fill this in, and I'll put it in the chat. Fill this in, the high performance design plan on my next level UX training program. Fill it with black marker in the template. So this month, UX mastery, modular curriculum, sprint 1, research and strategy, sprint 3. It's still giving me something to do. Like, this is clarity. At least you can follow a plan like this if you don't know what to do. So this is another example of how impact it can be. Another idea of a framework or a way for you to think about a system here is this just one sheet of thinking about Monday through Sunday, 1 through 7. What the heck am I going to do on Mondays? Mondays for me in the past have been like setup and intake days. Tuesdays have been more like research and review. So I'm taking in that information on Monday and I'm turning it into something that I can actually synthesize and rationalize and productize, so that I can have Wednesday, Thursday for design reviews and show and tells and movements and advancements. And then also bringing additional ideas and collaboration from the team. But you've got to have that Wednesday, Thursday time to be able to close the loop on Fridays, to be able to go into a weekly cycle. Now, you could extend that cycle to a 2-week window, but extending it to a 2-week window can sometimes be too slow. So you got to find your rhythm. You got to find your pace with your team and how hard you're basically willing to go, and how you're going to decide to do that through a Monday through Sunday action plan, right? You can see that. Now, even if I was to rotate, I have these other systems on the left side that kind of mirror back to systems and frameworks and actually practices what I was doing in 2025. I can just change it to 2026 because now it's 2026, we can work through those. But these are frameworks that I've created in the past. And then if I flip it, then you're thinking about, well, okay, what's milestone one for this? Maybe you got 6 levels of this framework that you're going to test out. And the first one is do it and see if it works for you and see how much more impact you have throughout the week or throughout your month. Do it for 4 weeks and measure it and be like, damn, I'm way more efficient and I'm way more productive and I'm way better of a person for just putting in the time to understand myself. So you could try to do that. And that's another route for you to think about your design energy. Another way to think about your design energy, let me get this out of here. Oh, I was rebuilding it. It's fine. Is this people and process framework. So this is something we'll talk about next week with design clarity, because when you work through projects, you need to really master these 2 things for any clarity of a project that you're working towards. So we'll dive into that before. But on top of the monthly rhythm, here, let's make a weekly rhythm. So I'm just about to paste it again. And then I can just literally say, and this time, instead of what I said before, I'm going to add a additional piece of context, and I'll say, for a homeschooling summer plan with father and son. Add soccer training 3-4 times a week, along with weights 3 to 4 trail runs a week, and speed training. Just different things that me and my son are going to absolutely crush this summer, which starts Saturday. Let's go. All right, cool. So it already put in some plans for me, which I appreciate. So we got UX training models, soccer drills, weight, speed, portfolio projects. Just keeping it simple, yo. Let's go. This is what we're talking about. And then I'm gonna teach them more about looks like some typos and stuff came in it, but that's okay, right? It's giving me a start. This literally, you can just go into ChatGPT or any of the tools to get more ideas, but you can do the work yourself and then raise up your maturity levels so that you're doing it yourself versus like having to use AI to do it. But Monday, Tuesday, milestone 1, milestone 6, like work your way up. Think about your Monday through Sunday rituals to be able to do that. Very valuable, very key. The other thing that I could think that could be really powerful for you, different trainings and different ways to look at it, is this other calendar view of way to look at it. Now, if I got my big 6 and I worked through those, we've worked through this passion, these understanding of their goals. We're trying to build momentum because design energy is based on, you want momentum in your life, with schedules and plans, flow and systems, and then mission and purpose. Those things also really contribute to that. And last week, we also talked about practices where we have these intention blocks of things that you can ask yourself to kind of recalibrate, because audits help influence a recalibration. The same reason why companies have annual and biannual performance evaluations, to be able to make sure that the person is performing at the rate that they need to be performing at, because they were hired to do a job, and they need to make sure that if they're going to be spending that much money on this employee, that they're actually doing the job, and they're going to get checked in on every 6 months. And if they're overperforming, then they're going to get a pay bump, they'll get equity increase or a refresher, and they will continue to contribute over a vesting period with the company, right? That's like kind of the ideal scenario. But when you go through this scenario, you need to know for yourself how to get better on top of how you help your employees get better. So systems that need focus, new connections that need to be made, because there's gaps and there's issues. So you can go through a ton of those different elements. But then when you think about like how you break down on a regular basis, that M1 that I was talking about, that milestone 1, that's going to be different for every person. Like every person's going to have a different way of approaching their projects and their things. But all I'm asking is that you take some stock in it, you audit it, and you have a system to go and make it better. And you just don't let it fly, like your whole life fly by, because you're not in control of what you're trying to create. Now, it doesn't matter what your discipline is. It doesn't matter what your role is. You can learn how to do mapping. You can learn about how to do these systems so that you can have some serious impact, and you can look at other ways to visualize things. You can work through the most important areas of your life. You can design a better life for yourself. You can increase your design energy, And I just like really am excited about the potential of what you're trying to do. And the last couple things that I wanted to show, just one more thing that I want to show you before we end the session. I just want to thank you so much too for being here. Is this new way of looking at your design energy. It's the last thing I'll show today. It's really powerful. This is what I call a design library. Now I created this design library to help me with my energy because when I set out to build next level UX, I was thinking about, wow, there's a lot to teach. There's a lot to learn about how to get to a next level experience for something. It's across all disciplines and all things that you are trying to produce. So I needed a design library, a design system to help me produce. And just if I was to hire a full entire agency to help me build out my training libraries, my frameworks, those are all things that I learned to do as a designer in my history. 20 plus years of being a designer. These are things that you would need a full staff to create. Like when you're building out a library, you can't just do all these things. You can't just build all the systems without an engineer to help you. But Claude Code, Codex have been able to help me create this library so that if I go out and build a new training program, or if I'm going to build a new lesson because I've been teaching for so long, I want to be able to deliver it with value, and I want to be consistent. I want to have a good, solid brand. So I've been using this for skills that I'm creating for Next Level UX. I've been doing this for video walkthroughs that explain different pillars of things that I'm teaching. I've done this for pitches to presentations to people that and companies that I'm trying to support and help them be at their best, and even like brand kits and pillar icons to learn these systems that you're training in right now. And this is all like light and dark. There's light modes, there's dark modes, and you can see how mature the system has gone. I've been working on this for 5+ years, but the power is in the system. And I wanted to show, because stuff like this is what can help amplify your energy for your projects and your companies and teams. So this is helping me create. So if I come in and I'm working with a new startup, I want to be able to help them get to this level of maturity for their new company that nobody understands. Nobody knows anything about them. How are you going to learn about this company? For me, you could just be able to come in to go to the education, learn about the 12 pillar framework, the 12 dimensions of practice across these 3 phases, the full curriculum of the product teaches, the foundations, where to get started. So yes, there's the foundation level. Then there's the execution level, which is what we're talking about today. We looked at design energy. Inside, there's homework assignments for you inside the platform, but I needed a way to be able to organize the things that I need you to focus on as you go through that work. And then same thing, if I have social media that I post, I have different teaching and frameworks and things that I can download to help show the brand off, things that I'm teaching, I have other videos. And these are all ways to be able to help you grow, help you get better. And I think when you think about the design energy that you create, you get to create and manifest it. You have to build it. You have to envision it. And it starts with you. Then you can go and level up your teams. Then you can go level up your family, then your teams, then your industries. But start with yourself. Start with yourself. It's the most important thing. So thank you so much for being here. I just wish you the very best rest of your day. And go out there and win this week. Go out there and win this month. June is going to be awesome. The season's changing. And even though there's so many wild things happening out there in the world, what matters most is that you have the ability to craft your destiny, craft your future. So make sure you use the tool to be able to help you do that. And then please reach out if you have any questions. And guess what? If you also want to be able to train with me and go even deeper, I am offering a booking call with me at drewbridewell.com. You can book a 15 or 30-minute call with me if you want to dive deeper, in case you wanted to hire me to be your next level high performance coach. I'm coaching teams, coaching founders, and always have a few spots available. So if you want to train and want to level up, let's get after it. Let's do it. I wish you all the best. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go ahead and end the session. See you in the next one, and appreciate you.